by 10% because the people in New Jersey deserve a break and deserve to get some of their money back after a decade of having taxes increase over and over and over again. Democrats tripping over themselves and tell you, oh, no, we're going to cut your taxes. We got a better way to do it. Now listen, I thought mine was better, but what I care about most was getting you all some tax relief. And you understand why, because taxes in this state have been going up and up and up for the last decade. And so, instead of digging in my heels and saying, mine's the better plan, my way or the highway, I decided to reach out. I decided to reach out to the Democrats and say, okay, let's work together, let's change your plan a little bit, and then we'll provide a 10% income tax credit to people, rather than cutting the rates. I didn't think it was as good, but I thought it was still good. And we all sounded like we agreed. Everybody was talking the same language. But I got fooled. And it's hard to admit in front of 750 people that you got fooled when you're governor, but I got fooled. See, here's what happened. I thought that these Democrats that we were dealing with, that we had gotten rid of the ones that we needed to get rid of in 2009. And you know what kind of Democrats I'm talking about, I'm sure. Because when you elected me in 2009, I am sure you thought that election had driven a stake through that kind of Democrat's heart. And once and for all, that kind of Democrat had been gotten rid of in New Jersey, that we made a mistake once and we weren't going to bring or let those kind of Democrats back in. But I'm here with grievous news from Trenton. They're back. They're back. The Corzine Democrats are back. The folks who believe, I'm with you, the folks who believe that raising taxes on you 115 times in the last 8 years is the way to make New Jersey a better place. You heard that right. Taxes and fees were increased 115 times in the 8 years before I became governor. On the state level. Just on the state level. So you understand the scope of that. That is a tax or fee increase every 25 days for 8 years. Every 25 days, these Corzine Democrats went into your pocket to take more money out of it and to bring to Trenton. Every 25 days. And so you elected me in 2009. And you said, stop this. Stop this. And you also have a sense of humor, people in New Jersey. So you sent me there with the Democratic legislature. You make it a little bit harder for me to increase the degree of difficulty. But it's been about 860 days or so that I've been governor. And in 860 days, they've tried again and again. But I haven't let them raise your taxes, and I'm not going to let them raise your taxes as long as I'm governor. You love the way these Corzine Democrats treat you. And one of the leading Corzine Democrats is the chairman of the Senate Budget Committee, Senator Paul Sarlo, who, by the way, is also one of those guys who one public job just ain't enough for him. He's also the mayor of a town called Woodridge. Not Woodridge, Woodridge, up in Bergen County. So he's the mayor, and he's a senator. So he's getting those 2 public paychecks. And here's what he said in the paper today about giving you a tax cut. He said, it's like dealing with kids. You put the chocolate chip cookies on the table and you tell them you can't have them until they're good. Now, I gotta tell you something. You gotta be one arrogant SOB to be telling the people in New Jersey he'll decide when you've been good enough to get some of your own money back. Paul Sarlo will decide when you've been good enough so you can have the chocolate chip cookie of getting some of your tax money back from Trenton and into your pocket to save for your child's education, to spend the way you want to spend it. That's what these folks are all about. These coarse-eyed Democrats are all about raising your taxes. Now, here's what they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you, well, we're just not going to cut your taxes now, but if you're real good, we'll consider it again in January. Now, I have to tell you, my advice to you is to be very suspicious of such promises. Very suspicious. Especially coming from the people who raised your taxes 115 times in 8 years. Oh, and by the way, that same Senator Paul Sarlo, Chairman of the Senate Budget Committee, who said in February on NJTV, there will be no tax increases in this budget, voted the other night in the Senate Budget Committee to raise income taxes $800 million. So now they're giving you a twofer. They're not only not cutting your taxes, they're going to raise income taxes $800 million. And why are we surprised? I see some of you shaking your head. Why are you surprised? You've watched this movie for the 8 years before I became governor. These coarse-eyed Democrats don't know anything other than how to spend your money. Take your money and spend your money. And they've been doing it over and over again to the point where now the most overtaxed state in America. So we got a fight on our hands. Because they say, we're not going to give you a tax cut. You can wait till January and see if we think you've been good. And if you've been good, according to Senator Paul Sarlo, then you can maybe have your tax cut then. But I wouldn't count on it, everybody. Because you know what? By that time, they'll come up with another idea how to spend it themselves. Here's my advice on how to make sure that we don't waste your money in Trenton. Don't send it to us in the first place. That's the only way. And, you know, I don't mind when people disagree with me. You disagree. But don't lie. Stand up and be a man. You don't want to cut the people's taxes? Say you're not going to cut the people's taxes. Don't tell them all spring, oh, we're as big a tax cutter as the governor. We're going to cut your taxes. We're going to make it better. These guys got on the phone with the AARP and told them, we're going to cut the taxes more than the governor's going to cut taxes. Here we are. Here we are now. When the moment of truth is here, when there's one legislative day left, Thursday. And then they're going to go away for the summer. And they're going to leave. And they're going to leave you with the same tax bill that you had when they got there. But you know what? I didn't have a lot of plans for the summer. I got 4 kids. You all know how it goes. They're all playing in different baseball leagues over the summer, and gymnastics camp, and field hockey camp, and all these other things, and we can't go anywhere because we got a game or something every day. So I don't have much to do over the summer. So here's what I think we should do together over the summer. And you don't have to do it as much as I do. I just want you to join in the fun. This summer, I'm going to travel all over the state of New Jersey, and I am going to point out to every living, breathing New Jerseyan I can find that these folks lied to you, they lied to me, and I am going to kick their rear ends from one end of this state to the other to get your tax cut. Because I tried being nice. I know it's hard for some of you to believe, but I actually tried. I tried being nice. I tried compromising on this issue. But we've compromised on a lot of other issues to get things done, and we have. But you see, this one is just a difference in who we are inside. You see, these coarse-eyed Democrats believe that they know how to spend your money better than you do. And I believe that government is too big, and taxes too much, and spends too much, and borrows too much. And the only way to break that addiction is to stop giving it so much money. And see, they're used to just taking your money. They don't ask permission. They just take it. That reminds me of when I was growing up. I go to the store with my mother. You know, it's like any kid. You see something new, you want it, right? So I'd say to my mother, can I have that? She'd say, sure. I go, wow, my lucky day. Glad I came to the store. She said, yeah, Chris, you can have that. When you get home, go in the backyard and pick the money off the money tree. And then you can take that money and go to the store and buy it. And I go, oh, Mom, we don't have a money tree. She said, exactly. See, but for the last 8 years before I became governor, they treated you like the money tree. They didn't ask permission. Every time they had a good idea or a stupid idea in Trenton, and let me tell you, I haven't been there 2.5 years now, there's a hell of a lot more of the stupid ones than there are good ones. Every time they have one of those ideas, it always costs money. And then come to you and say, hey, what do you think of this idea? Can I have some of your money for this? And they just go in your pocket. Take it. 115 times in 8 years. And what's happened now over the last 860 days? For 860 days, I said, no, no, no. They tried to raise the income tax twice. I vetoed it both times. They came up with a proposal to raise the gas tax. $2.4 billion. $2.4 billion. How'd you like to be paying another 24 cents a gallon for gas right now? Wouldn't that be great? Yeah, I don't think so either. So before they even passed it, I said to them, don't bother. If it comes to my desk, it's getting vetoed and sent back. We've continued to do that for 860 plus days now. So you don't understand what it's like when people are addicted to something, right? And you don't let them have it? See it down in Trenton now, boy, it's tough. They're on the ground. They're sweating. They're twitching. They don't know what to do. They need to raise your taxes. And so even though they told you this spring, we're not raising taxes, we're cutting taxes, when they got down to like day 850, they said, "Come, can't take it anymore. We got to do it." So they raised the income tax the other night. All I have to do is have the Senate vote on it now. The Assembly voted, the Senate committees voted. It's ready to go Thursday. Get ready. They're going to raise income taxes again, and they're going to give you your tax cut when you're good little boys and girls. And they think you've earned it. Let me tell you what I think about the people of New Jersey. You've more than earned getting some of your money back. We have done some tough things over the last 2.5 years, cutting budgets, getting our fiscal house back in order, creating jobs again, nearly 85,000 new private sector jobs since I became governor, after losing 117,000 private sector jobs in just the year before I became governor. New Jersey being an example now for fiscal responsibility around the country, not a fiscal joke like it was when we took over. So I think you've been plenty good. And by the way, it's not my job to decide whether you've been good or bad. It's your money, not my money. You deserve it back. I have to justify taking it, not justify giving it back. So we need to send a message to Paul Sarlo and the Senate Democrats, those Corzine Democrats. We need to tell them, guess what, pal? It's not your job to decide whether I deserve my money back. I earned it. Give me my tax cut and give it to me now. I earned it. I deserve it.